Hey guys, what's going on? Absolutely beast. And bringing you guys another race on Forza 6. So right here at the beginning, I'm just sort of doing a little, if you let the game sit for a second, it'll start doing a little, collection of shots around the car. And the car looks so sick. I kind of want to show it off just a little bit. It's someone's livery. I don't remember who it is that made it, but it's a super sick livery. Kind of pretty clean, a little bit of white, mainly in the headlights, but otherwise it's just really nice, sort of a dark gray charcoal and a lime green, which honestly are my two favorite colors, so fits perfectly well. And BBS, absolutely, I love BBS. So anyways, so this is in the rain. I was going to drive a little bit in the cockpit view, but it's a lot tougher in the rain, but especially in this car, it's very hard. So so this the reason I'm bringing you this race, I haven't brought you many rain races, so I don't know if I've done any, but this is going to be one of them. And honestly, something that happened in this race was one of the dumbest things I've ever done on this game, or Forza 5, and then the following lap I followed it up with something even more dumb, and I honestly couldn't believe it. So that's why I'm bringing you this race. So the rain racing, kind of also to talk about Forza 7. So the rain racing is going to be something in Forza 7 that's going to be very interesting, to say the least. It's not necessarily the fact that it's rain racing that's going to be any new, but it's just the dynamic weather. So, as of right now, before you start a race, it's going to be raining. It tells you it's raining. And from the time you start the race, there's already puddles on the track, and they're already in set spots, and they never change for the rest of the race. And it also rains the whole race. So, honestly, as far as like traction and stuff, traction really isn't too bad in the rain. You can still gas it, like normal, and you can still, you take I can't even talk. You can still take the corners pretty well, and still, give the car some beans, but it doesn't. The real issue is the puddles, and so one of the things we're talking about with Forza 7 is the dynamic weather, which, obviously that means it's going to change. So, maybe you start a race and it's, kind of overcast, but it's dry, and then as the race goes on, it starts to get, starts to rain, and as it starts to rain, the puddles will start to form. And, like I said in my video the other day, talking about Forza 7, honestly my least favorite thing, and by the way, I'm rewinding a lot, more than I've ever rewound before, because I was really struggling with some of these races. I sort of refused to change the Drivatar settings. It's on expert, and I feel like I should be able to beat, with as many hours as I have in this game, I feel like I should be able to beat him, so I kind of refused to turn it down. And as a result of that, I end up, and it apparently seems this car's not very competitive in this class. I'm not really sure why that is, but, whatever. So, so I've been rewinding a lot, and sometimes I basically just kind of force my way past the computers, because sometimes they just, they ruin everything, guys. They just ruin everything. They're so terrible. And, I'm sure, Forza, one of the big things about this game was they were talking about using the cloud computing, to do all the different Drivatar stuff, which is fine. And I get that, people's Drivatars are, built up through experience that they have driving the car. But the interesting thing to me is that we also learned this on Forza 5. The most we were ever able to get, it gives you a percentage of like, oh, that was a horrible crash right there. So, it gives you a percentage of how much, how complete your Drivatar is. And basically what we found out is that you need to basically drive on all the environments and drive all the different types of cars in order to get a high Drivatar percentage, which basically allowed your Drivatar to drive almost like you, because if you're rocking your Drivatar at like 40%, it's just going to be a horrible driver, and it's not going to do anything. It's going to do some stuff the way you would, but... So yeah, these Drivatars are they're terrible. They're absolutely terrible. Like, every race, I'm running, 1 to 2 seconds faster per lap, yet I'm not able to... it's a real struggle to finish in the top 3. A real struggle. And I was actually checking out the Forza forums, and there was this one guy, they were talking about an achievement where you had to race, because that's kind of what I'm going for. You have to race through all the different volumes. There's 15 series, and each of those 15 series has usually six races. And then each of those series so each of the 15 series you have to complete with 6 different sets of cars. So you basically have to go through and complete each one. You know, so you go through and you complete 6 races 15 times, which I think is 90, and then you have to do that 6 times. So there's 540 races you have to complete in the career in order to get this achievement. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm working towards. And it's going to be rough, that's for sure. I'm not sure if I'll make it, but you know, I'm certainly going to at least complete through the career one whole time and kind of see where that leaves me after that, and then I'll go for all the other little, you know, minor achievements here and there, which I can pick up pretty easily. So yeah, so that's just kind of what I'm working towards, and I just feel like, you know, it's pretty bad with these drive tires. And so he said, the guy in the forum post said, he said, Forza was a lot of fun for me, and he said, but I've been playing another racing game, which I won't mention the name of here, and he said, but I'm sick of doing these short races and having to ram my way into the top 3 just to progress. And it like resonated with me so much, because I know exactly what he's talking about, because that's basically what I've had to do on like half these races. Some of these tracks are just so bad with this car, I don't get it. I mean, I get that there's different variations in the cars, but like there's just some of these tracks are just so bad for this car, and I can't do it. And like, look at that, he just comes right over the driving line. It's just so bad. So but anyway, if I can get any sort of clean space, like a lot of the races I'll get stuck, you know, in it's stuck in like 8th place or something, and that time that puddle just pulled me over onto the grass. But a lot of times I'll just get stuck in like 8th place, or sometimes I'm stuck in like 16th place, and I have to restart the race because I get 2/3 of the way through and I'm still in like 16th place, and it's just like there's no way to get, you know, it's exactly like the multiplayer racing. You know, you get stuck behind these groups of slow cars, and every time you want to push it through a corner, you know, because there's you know, some of the corners, 1/3 of the corners on the track, I can make up time on all these cars. They know how to really push the car, and it's just, it won't let me do it. See, like that one right there. I mean, dude, come on, man. And I think he eventually goes off right here in a second, if I remember correctly. But this track's awesome. I love this track a lot, and it's one of my favorite tracks, and I love this car a lot, and like that. Again, I try to get past him, and what does he do? He does that. So, I don't know. I just don't get it. But yeah, so, in Forza 7, they're going to be doing dynamic weather. So, you're going to start racing. It's going to be overcast. And as you race, the rain will start to come down. And as the rain starts to come down, it'll start to build up the puddles. So, they're not just going to be there. They're just going to slowly build up. And also, you know, they've mapped all the tracks, you know, with laser scanning and stuff and GPS, so all the tracks are extremely accurate. And the puddles are going to pool up, so the water's going to run off certain parts of the track. Watch, here's another one. Look at that. I mean, come on, man. So, you know, the puddles are going to start to build up. The water's going to run off in a predictable pattern, and it's going to run, you know, I mean, this is the real physics. I don't even know the right word. Real physics animations, I guess you can call them. Real physics actions, and they're actually going to do stuff like that. So the puddles will build up. Okay, so here's where it starts. I thought this was the end of the race, so I flipped that, and then I realized right there, I tried to go, and this car is notorious for stalling. I can't figure it out. And right then I thought, oh man, because I'm in 3rd place right now, I thought, well, that's the end of the race. I just lost, unless I rewind all the way. So I rewound all the way back to right here, and I decided to try again, and I pumped the clutch. And I get the car going, and then what I realized, oh no, it's not the final lap. And I thought, what an idiot I am. I just did that, tried to celebrate the race and screw around when it wasn't even the final lap. So I thought, you know what, I'll just continue on. I'm in 3rd place, I deserve to be here. As much of a mistake as that was, I mean, how embarrassing is that, dudes? I mean, nothing better than taking one of your most embarrassing moments in racing and you're just playing by yourself and putting it up on the internet for everybody to see. Nothing like that. So, but yeah, so as the race goes on, the puddles will build up and they'll get worse. And then as it stops raining, or maybe it doesn't stop raining, but maybe it stops raining midway through the race, or part of the way through the race, and then the puddles will start to dry up. In the opposite, they'll start to get smaller and smaller. So that's one thing that's really, you know, interesting to me. It's hard, guys. It's hard. You know, sometimes I feel like the rain's a cool thing, you know, because it's just something sort of different, and it's just a real sort of testament to how good the game can look, and just, you know, really doing a simulation type thing. But other times it just makes me think, like, I mean, come on, you know that these, if this were a real series, that they wouldn't be racing in these conditions. I mean, if it's raining, that's one thing, but if it's raining and there's just standing water all over the track, there's absolutely no way that's safe. I mean, you look at the famous accident. There's that movie called Rush, which I saw, by the way, and it was awesome. So it was, you know, between Niki Lauda, who was the German driver. There's a little transition there, if you noticed. Niki Lauda, I think his name was, the German driver, and then James Hunt, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. And it was with you know, a couple of guys, and it's just like they. It was about the 1976 Grand Prix in Formula One, where they were racing at the Nürburgring, and it started raining, and Niki Lauda basically almost died. Or maybe it wasn't the Nürburgring that they crashed on, but I mean, anyway, it ended up crashing really bad, and you know, because it was super dangerous. And so it's just like they wouldn't be racing under these conditions with all the standing water all over the track. So that's just, you know, kind of how it is for me. But at the same time, I understand that not everybody plays. Now look, here's the second mistake. I did it again. And right about here, I'm thinking, what's going on? What's wrong with the race? And because I was looking at the thing, I shifted down into reverse. And here's where I realized I just did it again. I just celebrated again. And it wasn't the end of the race. That's 2 times. Could I be any more of an absolute moron? I mean, come on. That's not even funny. It's like the worst thing I've ever done in a video game. And there I thought maybe I didn't finish across the line, so I did that, and then I missed that whole turn because I was waiting for the game to finish. Like, I don't know what was going on. I don't know what in the heck was going on. Like, there was something, I don't know, dudes. Like, maybe I was just super, super drunk, even though I don't drink. I mean, come on, man. That's ridiculous. To do that once, you're a fool. To spin around and try to screw around and be like, oh, I'm so good, I can, you know, e-brake across the line, and then to realize it's not the last lap is very humbling. You put your head down in shame, and then you continue racing. But to come back around the next lap and to do it again when you're still not on the last lap, you gotta be kidding me. What a joke. Ugh. So anyway, what is this? Who's calling me? Anyway, interesting. That was weird. So yeah, it's just going to be interesting to me. Part of me thinks, you know, I mean, I know not everybody drives in these top 3 tiers of cars, so I get that, like, if you're driving, like, you know, a regular car, or if you're driving, like, a Range Rover or something, just for fun, I get that, you know, rain would be part of it. I don't find it very fun in these higher classes, and honestly, they never get voted. Like, when you're in a lobby and it comes up with a rain race, you know, no one wants to race it, and if it comes up as a random choice, a lot of people leave because no one wants to race in the rain. So it's kind of difficult for me to think about, you know, racing in the rain. I mean, the weather's dynamic, which adds a whole other element to it, so it could, you know, rain and then stop, or it could be raining at the start and then stop. I mean, I don't know. Not really 100% sure how I feel about that. I mean, it's just another layer to the game. It's just going to make it, you know, more challenging. But at the same time, I'm not a fan. Not a fan. So it isn't even going to... Wonder how that's going to work for leaderboards, because now there's wet leaderboards and dry leaderboards, but how's that going to work if sometimes it's wet, sometimes it's dry? I mean, I don't really know, but we'll have to wait and see. So thank you guys for checking this out. I really appreciate it. Take the time to check out my other videos if you like my stuff. Plenty of other ones on there, and make sure you subscribe and check back soon.